What is the worst insult you've suffered from someone who didn't even mean it as an insult? Coworker, what do you drive? Me, a Jetta. Coworker, yeah, you look like you drive a Jetta. Working at a new job. How old are you? How old do I look? I don't know, 45. I was 27 at the time. Either really rude, or you're just one of those dudes who grows out a beard at 16, and is never carded in their whole life. Had to get some blood drawn, and the nurse was training one of her co-workers. One of them said to the other, his skin is like leather, hurt more than the needle. Edit, this blew up. Extra info. Normally this kind of statement wouldn't faze me, and I'd have some snarky response. I just happened to be a bit vulnerable, and it landed just right. Someone saying, hey yo, check out how weird this person's body part looks to someone else has got to be a universal dick move. After I asked out a coworker, she said, I only said yes, because I thought it was so brave of you to ask. Fuck you. To the moon. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. I promise someday you'll be pretty, said by my mom to a 10-year-old me who was upset about something completely unrelated and who had never even considered, until that exact moment, that I wasn't pretty 25 plus years later, and it still lives rent-free in my mind. Edit 2. So many sad people in this thread. I hope everyone here is having a wonderful day, and hitting lots of green lights. The axe forgets, but the tree remembers. I'm gonna be 48 soon, and my mom said some truly terrible things to me as a kid. I've forgotten or moved on from most, but there's one or two that will live in my head until I die. Not saying your mom was deliberately cruel, just that some things hit home so hard they can't be forgotten. You are smarter than you look. Thanks, I guess. Better than looking cleverer than you are. John, please. Die another day. When I was little, I had long hair. While in my very first dentist visit, the doctor said something along the lines of, you're being very brave, little girl. The nurse replied, he's a boy. Doctor didn't say anything else. I cried inside. So did the doctor. I was in the pool with my kids, and my 4-year-old daughter refused to let go of the ladder, even though she was wearing floaters. Trying to ease her in, I told her she could turn around, and I'd hold her, and she could just stand on the step, and it'd be a good way to start getting used to it. She did not like the idea. I reassured her that I'd let her stay on the step, and said, I promise, I'll just hold you up, and you can stand there. Then she said, after struggling for the words for a minute, your promises are just kidding. And it absolutely crushed me. I could tell what she was looking for was, your promise doesn't mean anything, and that hurt. My wife and I have always had a rule between us and our kids that I promise means you aren't kidding, lying, or in any other way being deceitful. It has been pretty helpful to be able to rely on this. About 2 years ago I was in an LTR and was getting targeted ads for engagement rings. After we broke up, they were immediately replaced with ads for generic Silas. Dude, algorithms are savage. The instant I updated my marital status on Facebook to divorced, they started sending me ads for dating services. I had literally just split up with my ex-husband. We hadn't even started the official proceedings. Female coworker with whom I have a good understanding. My boyfriend is a bit jealous of us. Asked me to not fall in love with you. But I assured him there's nothing going on. I guess if he'd see you he'd understand. If that had changed from see you to meet you, it'd be so much better, lol. My crush. You'd be a really great uncle. What zone even is that? When a lovely young cocktail waitress was flirting with me, one of my good friends that was in my party said, and I quote, dude, she is into you, and I don't know why. Might have been the most emphatic AF / you I ever uttered. That seems pretty par for the course with my group of friends, at least to fuck with each other, haha. You're Puerto Rican? But you're so articulate. Yep. Thanks. Edit. It was my boss, and I was just starting out in my career. I was young, and didn't react in the moment, but right away I knew it was fucked. Pretty awful. Thanks, that's the whitest thing I've heard today. I gave the insult once. I was at a Halloween party and I complimented someone on the very realistic scar across his face. He was very polite when he told me it was a birthmark, and I apologized profusely, but I still kick myself 20 years later for that remark. For a nation. I had a coworker once who had a habit of making comments that wouldn't seem insulting until she added a no offense on the end. I liked post-WW2 Japan's military policy. No offense. My high school boyfriend cropping a photo of us together, me asking why, and him explaining that my legs looked fat, like he did me a favor. It's been 10 years, and I still haven't forgotten how I felt when he explained himself. I'm a chef. The most common insult I get is the word actually. This was actually really good. Ah, so you weren't expecting to enjoy it. Thanks. I was cooking topless in my halls of residence at university and a housemate's girlfriend asked me if I was anorexic. There is no positive outcome to this question. Yes, I am. If this is the case, it would be rude to raise it with someone you don't know. No, I'm not. If this is the case, you just insulted that person and called them so skinny they must be unwell. Semicolon. What made it worse was that I had just spent the last year going to the gym to make myself look more normal, and I was proud of my achievement. Went from 100 pounds at 18 to 121 pounds at 19. I was on a camping trip with friends in high school, and we decided to play a game around the campfire where we each complimented something we found physically attractive about the person on the other side of the circle. My friend's hot, slightly older sister said that I had a nice personality. She didn't know me. Someone trying a dish that I made and saying, "This is actually good." I was a professional chef for 20 years. Had a guy tell me I looked like a cult leader, which I didn't really take kindly. He also did not respond well when I told him he looked like a cult follower. Even a blind squirrel can find a nut once in a while. A teacher said that putting my test on my desk and I got an A on. I don't get A's. I try. I just don't get them. At first I thought it was a compliment because I'm not smart. Then I was like, hey, yeah, you look like you used to work out a lot. I once told my wife your face stops clocks. She was pissed. What I meant to say was that when I look at you, time stops. When my little brother walked into the kitchen asking what's for dinner and my stepmom said my name is cooking dinner tonight, he went, "Oh, I'm not hungry. Lol." And then, when I made the food and he tried it, he went, "Hey, my name, this is good." Like in a tone that suggested he thought it was going to suck. Lol. He was a little kid when this happened, so I didn't take it seriously. XD. Edit. Also wanna rat that he wasn't afraid to try my cooking because of a bad experience or anything. I had never cooked for him before, so it was less of an "oh crap, my sister is cooking and she's a terrible cook" reaction, and more of a "oh crap, my sister is cooking and I don't know if she's a terrible cook or not" reaction. Lol. I ended up making breakfast for dinner that night, scrambled eggs and cheese with toast/hash browns, and it was delicious. A very nice Vietnamese immigrant lady, Gwen, started working at my job. We were friendly with each other in passing, but rarely talked. One day, my wife came in with our new baby and stopped to visit. We chatted for a few minutes. I kissed her and the baby on the cheek, and they left. Gwen walked up with a big smile and said, in a very thick accent, "Your sister and her baby are so beautiful." I thanked her and told her that, actually, that was my wife and my baby. She was shocked. "No, that baby and that woman are so beautiful. How could that be your wife and your baby?" I just shrugged and chuckled and assured her that they were, in fact, my family. "Oh my god. You so lucky. How can man, that looks like you have such a beautiful wife and baby." She wasn't trying to be a dick. But, holy shit, that was one hell of a scorching burn. Haha. When I was a teen, my dad told me he heard of an athlete who wrote a book about how he used to be bullied when he was young, how he was the school's loser and had no friends. "Exactly like you," my dad added. What a way to advertise a book to me. Thanks, Dad. You're not unattractive. Well, you have a face. You are very good looking for someone your age. They thought I was older than I am. I went to my diving club annual dinner at a very nice hotel in London. I purchased a dinner jacket, learned how to tie a bow tie, all the bullshit I needed to look my best. As I walked over to one group, this guest said, waiter, more wine here." Those that knew me laughed, and the guest did apologize, but I still felt quite humbled. Not the worst but memorable. On my wedding day 5 years ago, I wore a white dress, but the bodice was covered in bright, multicolored flowers. My niece, then roughly 6, was touching the stitching, and then said, "I thought you were going to wear, like, a normal wedding dress." There was no L will in it, but it never fails to make me laugh. Edit. Thanks for everyone's kind words. I hope it lives up to the ideas in everyone's heads. Lol. Or can at least be an inspiration. This is a model photo. I altered the dress to have lace cap sleeves and extra detailing. It wasn't even a wedding dress, but a less than $200 evening gown I found online. It was sold by Luvenza and is sadly no longer made. https://unga.com/a/cad5zoo. Childhood friend from school turned coworker. Yeah, you used to be really smart. I had dropped out of college and we were working as bartenders at a restaurant. We're taking about plans for the coming year or two, and I had mentioned trying to get a new job / go back to school. I died a little / a lot. They were trying to be supportive and were immediately horrified and apologized, but yeah, your nose is basically perfect. I turned my head slightly from the front. I got called my brother's name in bed.